Welcome back to TravelvanT, and today I'm going to be talking about why minivans are better for camping and actually just staying in them for longer periods of time than most would think. Now, when most people think of a camper van, they think of some Sprinter, a huge cargo van, trailer, even an RV. You don't really think of a minivan. Now, I know there are a few people who love to sleep in sedans. Now, I know there's a few people who camp in their sedans willingly. They are crazy. Don't listen to them. But one of these you can listen to me about, because these things are not as bad as most people will say. One of the best reasons to have a minivan, this thing is stealthy as heck. If you're in a Sprinter van with an AC on top, everyone knows what you're doing. If you have solar panels, if you have a ladder, it's very obvious that you are camping. But if you're in a minivan like this thing, most people have no clue what you're doing. Now, if you're stupid like I am and you put a bunch of stickers on the back of your car, you become more obvious. Before we were putting all those stickers on the back, yeah, I mean, it was stealth. I would like to eventually start putting stickers on the inside. I don't know why I put them on the outside. That was a dumb idea. But so if you're not like me, stealthy as heck. Another pro is the miles per gallon. This thing gets great miles to the gallon. We're talking about 23 on average, 19 in the city, 17 and 19, depends on where you're at, obviously, and about 26 to 27 on the highway. Now, I've gotten higher than that, but I'm not going to say those numbers are all the time. But if you're driving in the plains of the Dakotas, oh yeah, you're easily getting 28 miles a gallon. It's not even funny. This thing costed us about $150 to drive from Michigan all the way up to Acadia in Maine. That's over 1,000. I don't know how many miles it is. I'll put it up here. But that's a lot of miles. And all we used was one discount at Speedway. And that was in Toledo, and we got gas for about $180. So this thing is crazy. Now, obviously, if you're in Yellowstone or California where gas prices are just absurd, you're not going to be saving too much. But compared to a V8, one of the first things that I thought would be a challenge would be storage. But you can actually make that way easier than most would think. Now, when we first did our huge out east trip, all we had was an air mattress, and things just scattered everywhere. Every night we'd have to put our whole shit on the front seat. Gosh forbid anything happened at night, there was no way we were leaving. So we decided to build this nice little bed frame. Now you can store a bunch of totes and stuff under here. Eventually, the goal would be to, hopefully in a few weeks, cut this in half and you can slide it in and out. Bam, this is a twin size, so this gives you a nice shot of how much room you'd have. And I'm above 6 feet and I can sleep in this very comfortably, so most of y'all can do it. Next up, four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive is definitely the better way to go, but if you can't get those options, front-wheel drive isn't too bad in minivans. Now, I've never been stuck really in this thing. Have I been stuck? I don't think so. Never been stuck in this thing. I've never taken it on too extreme conditions. I mean, I've driven in snow, on some sand, rocks, and for the most part it handles well. Now, I definitely would not take this on any sand trails that are rated for trailing, like I just said. Roads that almost are trails, this thing would get messed up so fast it's not even funny. But if you just stay on most roads, you're good no matter what the conditions are. And like I said, even rocks, it handles pretty decently. Now for rear-wheel drive, that would be a whole nother option. Like if this thing was rear-wheel drive, I wouldn't even consider it. But since the weight distribution is so decent, it drives very good. Now I've seen some of those cargo vans that are front-wheel drive. I don't know about those. They get stuck a lot more. But there again, the weight distribution is different. So look into that more. But for a minivan, you're most likely good. Now, just with all good things, there's some cons. One of them is, this thing is short as heck. I don't know if you can tell, but me sitting, there's barely any room. Now, you make me stand, I mean, I'm taller than the thing on the outside. So imagine on the inside. It's pretty cramped. But if you're staying in warmer areas where you're not going to be vanning it in the winter, most likely, you're good. As long as you can get out and stretch in the morning and at night, it's pretty decent. Like I said, I'd really recommend cutting this thing in half and making it slide, because then you have like an actual desk and you can sit on this thing with a little mattress. If your mattress is this tall, you ain't sitting. But if your mattress is this tall, you're good. And then like I said, you got a desk, you got your whole setup. That's what I would do. But this thing works great, and an air mattress works just as great if you're out of more budget. But if I could make it better, that's what I would do. So the height is not too big of an issue. Like I said, if you're 7 foot, I wouldn't even consider this van. But for someone like me, it works enough where I do not complain, honestly. It's one of my least complaints. Another thing that could be a con, for some it's a win, you have to plan a lot more with this van. It's almost like if you had a sedan. You can't take it on every single road, so just think about that alone. That is more planning than most people realize. A lot of dispersed camping, unfortunately, is on these roads that are very hard to get to, and some of the roads are even rated as trail use. Now, for the most of the time, like I said, it can get annoying, but you will find a lot of dispersed camping that you're fine at. Rest areas that you can sleep at, you're always good. You'll always be able to get to a Walmart. So for the most part, this thing is fine. And that's just to talk about the clearance. When I mean plan two, you also got to plan for storage more. Like I said, you don't got too much room in this thing, so you got to really be nifty with it and crafty. Remove your stow and go seats, you got more room. Build you one of these, you got more room underneath. If you don't do either of that, you'll be okay, but it's going to be a lot harder to travel with, especially with two people. We've done it, don't do it. And as I was getting at earlier, another con is the clearance. This thing can handle most roads, and we've taken on some pretty rough roads, but the issue is the rocks. There'll be a rock that you think would get you, and it doesn't. But out of nowhere, one this tall, not even that big, just makes the bumper scrape. Luckily, Chrysler made this van pretty decent, which is crazy to say. They made the oil pan hard to hit, so that's really nice. So if you do scrape, it's most likely going to be a bumper. But still, no one likes that sound. No one wants to scrape, and I've even scraped on roads with this thing. So just think about that. And I'm talking about paved roads. And now my overall thoughts on this van. Minivans are great for camping. Like I said, I would not live in one full time. If you're going to do that, get an RV, get a truck camper, get something like that, a bigger van. I would not live in this full time. But if you're talking a month to 6 to even a year, this thing would do you just fine. Like I said, if you have a setup like this where you can put stuff underneath, you're golden, man. You can bring your jackery, you can bring whatever you need in here. You got plugs right in here to charge your stuff. Minivans are better than most people think. I would consider it if I were you. And if you only have a minivan and you're wanting to start camping, just go out there. I'm telling you, you'll be fine. Just trust the process. And besides mechanical issues going wrong, I mean, you're good. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.